Hi, now it's Olivia talking, and I have been analyzing and interpreting the short story The End of Something by Ernest Hemingway together with Camilla. This story takes place in Hortons Bay, which is a town that has lost its industry. The story is about Nick and his girlfriend Marjorie. They are sailing and fishing in a small boat towards Horton Creek. So even though Nick says that the fish will not bite, the couple set up rods and fishing lines on the beach that they reach. Marjorie keeps asking Nick if he's all right, and Nick he refuses to admit that something is wrong. The two-person gets in this fight where Nick tells that he's no longer is feeling that the relationship is fun anymore. When Marjorie realizes that Nick is breaking up with her, she takes the boat and goes back. Therefore, Nick is alone on the beach. But sometime after, Bill comes on the beach, and he asks if he had broke up with Marjorie and how she dealt with it.
In the story, it features three characters: Nick, Marjorie, and Bill. The main characters are Nick and Marjorie, where Bill is more an episodic character. So Nick is one of the main characters of the short story, whom the narrator follows. He is an autobiographical character whom the author had used in many of his short stories that were inspired by real-life events. We don't get to hear a lot about Nick's outer characterization, but we guess he's a young character, and we know that he had known Horton Bay since he had been a child, and he is good at fishing. And we also know his relationship with Marjorie. And we don't get to hear about Nick's appearance. Nick's inner characterization is carried through his relationship with Marjorie. During that relationship, he comes across as distant and detached. Nick starts up argue with Marjorie without a reason, only to break up with her. He denies saying that what is matter with him. In the end, he reveals he had planned from the beginning to break up with her, and Nick admits to Marjorie that he is no longer attached by the prospect of their relationship. He wants the love and the relationship to be fun. This indicates that probably Marjorie was expecting Nick to settle down and get married, while Nick had such no wishes. In the end of the story, Nick holds his head in the hand, and that suggests to us, as the reader, that he feels guilty for breaking up with Marjorie, but still does not change his feeling and desires. Also, as Marjorie decides to go taking the boat, he offers to help her, showing some kind of heroism and kindness. But overall, Nick is craving for independence from his relationship and unwilling to settle down with a girl. Although he probably regrets at the end of the relationship and breaking up with Marjorie's heart, but it is not enough for him to reconsider getting back to her. Marjorie is the other main character of the short story. Her outer characterization only suggests that she is Nick's girlfriend, and in the rest of the story we don't get any details about her appearance or background. And from Marjorie's inner characterization, we found out that she is a romantic girl who is in love with Nick, and that she is very keen on learning everything about fishing from Nick, following his instruction and asking him questions about his fish. And that suggests that she is very much in love with Nick, and that she cares about his interests. Marjorie feels that something is up with Nick and acts concerned, which shows her affection. When Marjorie realizes that Nick is breaking up with her, she remains silent and then acts with pride by deciding to take the boat and go back without Nick helps. And overall, Marjorie comes across as this girl who's typical in love and is probably looking to get married or settle down. But in the end, realizes that her boyfriend doesn't have the same intentions as her, and through the story we get to know Marjorie as this character who has a lot of self-respect for herself. She never begs him to continue to be with her. Instead, she accepts his decision and walks away as an independent woman.
Yes, so now it's Olivia talking again, and I'll start by talking about the title. So, as the title of the short story says, is the end of something. The reader know that it's about some kind of an end, but the reader has no idea of which kind of ending it is. So the ending that is mentioned in the title is the end of their relationship, which is an end of a relationship is a stage for both Nick and for Marjorie. Now they are both able to start on anew and meet new people, which is what Nick really wants. Yeah. In the beginning of the story, we are introduced to a very long and detailed description of this lumber town of Hortons. The main element of this physical settings are Hortons Creek, the river and its beach, and this is where Nick breaks up with Marjorie. The short story is written in a third-person narrator, and the narrator is an outside person of this action. So the narrator is acting as an observer, which means that he does not, or he or she does not give a lot of details of what the characters are thinking or feeling, even though this the third person narrator, sorry, even though this. The reader feels that the story is written from Nick's perspective most of the time. So this narrator is implicit narrator, which is seen in some of the situations through the story. One example of this is in the end, in the dialogue between Nick and Bill. In this situation, it gets clear for the reader that Nick had planned to break up with Marjorie.